Good morning. It's Monday. This is day 7 for me on the trail. Packed up, ready to go. It's now 5:45. I have an hour till sunrise, and basically 30 minutes till the sun starts coming up enough that the sky's lit up, twilight. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna start heading out. I decided to skip the coffee. Haven't eaten anything. I'll eat on the trail like I usually do. I'll try and get a mile or two in before I have breakfast. I took water from here, but I just tasted it. It tastes pretty nasty. So there's a possibility I may dump it out or filter it before I leave. So I'm debating to do that. So I may take a couple of minutes and just filter water. Hopefully that improves the taste a little bit. Other than that, looking to do about 14 and a half miles today. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the terrain's easier than yesterday, because if not, it's going to be a very long day if I still plan on doing that mileage. I may have to change that, but we'll see. It's 6 o'clock. Sunrise should be starting soon, and I'm going to hit the trail. I'm going to walk down to the trailhead. It's really hard to start out. I'm almost back to the trailhead, and if you think getting out of bed was hard when you were a kid, this was even harder to knowingly get out of bed to go hike again after you've enjoyed, the joys of comfort of civilization. So it's hard. So I'm at the trailhead now. I don't know if you can see behind me. It's pretty dark. I didn't take my headlight out yet. So the sun's coming up in a couple of minutes. I hope it'll crest that hill over there and I'll be able to see. And there's the sign of the trailhead, the Pinhoti Trail. We're going to start. I'm coming up on, there's mile 87.3 in the book. And there's a side trail here that goes to the Blue Mountain Shelter, one of the shelters on the Pinhoti. But I'm going to follow the trail this way. And it's a short trail. I think it's like a third of a mile. No, like 3/10 maybe. Well, about a third. 3/10 of a mile or something like that into the woods. And supposedly you get to the Blue Mountain Shelter. I'm going to continue on. I've gone about 2.2 miles today so far. It's 7:20 in the morning. Beautiful, cool weather this morning. It's gotten a little more warmer now that the sun's up. And then in the forest, there's not much of a breeze here as I'm hiking. It was down at first, obviously, coming off of Cheaha. But now I got some sense to go. Predicted pretty much the weather's the same. Shouldn't be any rain for at least a week or close to it, so I should be good for several days. The temperatures are going to stay mostly the same, around the 80-degree mark for a high during the day, and low 60s at night. Humidity, I'm assuming, will stay as well, so it'll probably be damp overnight. Just finished a protein bar, one of the bars I bought when I was at the state park. That was my breakfast. So I should be good for a little while, for a couple hours, until I have a snack, probably around 10 or 11. Yeah, just on autopilot, really, once I finally got in the woods. But at first, it was hard to get moving. I went to sleep early last night, probably around 9, and I woke up about 4:30. Started getting ready, 4:30, 4:45. Everything was ready, prepared. I did filter the water. It tasted a little better. I probably should just grab stuff from the stream. Probably tastes better even than that, but I don't want to stop and do that and waste the water, actually. So I'll probably have a drink soon. I know I'm sweating a lot. It's hot and humid, so I need to keep hydrated. It's about 8:45. I've walked approximately 5 miles from the state park, and I've come to the sign on the Pinhoti Trail. So we'll keep moving. So far, it's been nice. It's been a little cool in here, but the humidity is building. Like I said, it's hot. Here's the Forest Service Road up ahead that I'm coming to. And we'll keep going. hopefully I can do another 10 miles today. That's the goal, to finish about 14 and a half, 15 miles and end at a tent site. And that'll put me to jump off tomorrow and make it to Heflin. Don't think I have to worry about rush hour traffic out here. It's been moderate. The trail's been good. There's been a couple of places where there were blowdowns, and once or twice where I lost the trail and had to find it. Once was due to a blowdown. I had to just go around it. But you can usually see the trail beyond, so you just know where you have to go, and you just have to work your way around it. But it was on a cliff. It was on a slope, so it was a little more challenging. Other than that, the trail's been better marked than the past, or because it's dirt, obviously you can see the worn path and follow it. So it's definitely been an improvement over yesterday's date. And we're going back up. Okay, I'll check back in soon. Looks like I've come to a stream. I think this might be Hillaby Creek. And that's where it looks like the trail goes. So it looks like I'm getting wet. I'm not going to bother changing into my sandals. I'll just get my shoes wet. It is what it is. Okay. I'm going to put this away so I can navigate this as best I could with both hands and my poles. I didn't see the power lines, but I obviously passed them. So the importance of coming here means that I'm halfway into my journey. So I have completed 50% of my trip to Cave Springs. 10:45. I've done a little over 10 miles. I'm going to do about another 5. Briefly contemplated walking a little further, maybe past 100 miles on the trail, but I'm probably going to stop there and leave it for tomorrow, and then we'll walk into Heflin, and that'll give me roughly the same amount of mileage, 14 or so, to get to Heflin, including the spur. So it's going good now. Just did another climb, and now it looks like we're heading down. I believe I got a mountain or another climb in front of me, and then there's a down again. So water's been pretty plentiful. I've crossed several streams, rivers. I've gotten my feet wet a couple of times. Some low-lying areas are muddy, but other than that, the trail's been more pleasant than yesterday, that's for sure. Haven't seen any other hikers or heard anybody, heard a vehicle once or twice, so I'm assuming there's a road nearby. But other than that, it's just been me in the woods. So I did stop a little while back there. I drank about 16, 17 liters, 16 or 17 ounces of water. And I mixed up some more electrolytes and I drank that. So I'm hydrated. And I just had a snack. Had some sports beans, so I got a little caffeine in me. I never did have that coffee this morning. I decided to pass on it. I didn't want to take the time. So far it's going good. The trail's been pretty navigable. There's been a couple of portions where, I get distracted, lost. Sometimes it would be nice if there was a little more markers at certain places. But some of them have been due to, trees that have fallen and blocking the path or overgrown. Right now, this must be some sort of Forest Service road or something. It looks like this was a path. I guess the vehicles can come out here at times. So I'm going to turn around and let you see what I see. This is the trail. This is a much wider section. Some of it's been really overgrown. It's just been a narrow, tiny strip. This has been wider. It looks like it was a Forest Service road at one point. So I just got to keep an eye, because I'm assuming at some point the trail and the road are going to split. So, but as long as I keep seeing markers, I'm okay. The GPS is really helpful, because at least if I lose the trail, I know kind of which direction to head in, and usually you can find it again. Other than that, it's been good. I've been listening to podcasts while I'm walking, so it's distracting me. I'm also been contemplating other things, decisions in life, what to do, work, some family stuff. Mostly work, actually, in relation to family stuff. So, but yeah, Days like today make coming out here, makes you appreciate where you are, what you're doing, and what I have. How fortunate and blessed I am. So those are the thoughts that are on my mind as I walk. Basically easy trail. This is an easy grade. Check back in later. Well, I reached the campsite I was aiming for. It's behind me. You can see it here. I'm at mile 99.6. It's only 1:15. I think I'm going to push on. There's another campsite in about a mile and a half. So I'm going to do that. That should take me to 2 o'clock or even 2:15, 2:30. I'm going to go there. I don't know if it's nicer or not, but there's water here. I've got half a liter of water left. I'm going to probably pass this one. I know I'm coming up to some other water. So, okay, so it's about 1:30 now. At 1:15, I came to the campsite that I was planning on staying at, and it was right in between two streams, and it was pretty small. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Also, being that it was only 1:15, I figured it's early enough. There's supposed to be another campsite in a mile and a half, so I figured that's another hour walking, and I'm going to go to that campsite instead. So I stocked up on water. I'm carrying probably 2.5 liters, just a little over. I got 2 1-liter bottles and 1 20-ounce bottle full of water, just in case. There's supposed to be water up ahead, but better safe than sorry. Most of the places around here are pretty low in terms of elevation, and water has been pretty plentiful. So I haven't had a problem finding water. But I have come across 1 or 2 streams that are listed as seasonal on the map, and they're dry or nearly dry. They're barely flowing. It would have been hard. You have to scoop it or get it from a pool. So I took advantage of the flowing water there by the rocks where I could catch and fill up my bladder, and I decided to push on. So that's what we're going to do. The good thing is that I will cross the 100 mile on the Pinhoti Trail very, very shortly. And there's supposed to be a small little wood bridge there going over a little stream. So when I get there, I will be sure to document that milestone, and we'll go from there. So I'm looking at maybe another hour, maybe walking until I'll get to a campsite. That's still plenty early, and it puts me a mile and a half closer to my goal tomorrow to make it to town, to Heflin. So that's it. Let me show you what I see. And this is the trail. I'm just coming up from where the streams are, so obviously I'm climbing up, of course. So the good thing is that I'm assuming we're going over that ridge right there, or maybe in front of me, and then hopefully we're coming back down. I don't really know. Hopefully it'll be a slow rise up that to the left. After a while walking, you kind of get a feel for the way the trails go. And most of them follow some sort of logic. They're not going to take you usually right up a mountain. They're going to go on an angle, like a switchback, so that it's easier for you to navigate. It's been a good day. I've been moving along. It's actually been going really fast in terms of, I don't feel like I've been walking as long as I have, and I feel like I've been making the miles. So if I can do this and keep moving like this every day, that would be great. So, I'm just thinking an extra hour today helps me get into Heflin an hour earlier, perhaps tomorrow, which gives me more time to do what I need to do. And that's also an extra hour of rest later on. So it's pay now to, play later, so to say. I thought about pushing on a little bit more, but I just don't see the benefit. I don't think I can physically make it to Heflin today without hiking late into the night, and that's more than I want to do. But I also don't think it's worthwhile to hike, 20 miles today and then just do, 6 or 7 tomorrow. Although that's a possibility too. Just a different strategy. So I feel like breaking it up a little even. I know I can do, 12 miles, 14 miles, 15-mile days. So that seems to be a strategy that I think I'm like, either way, if I'm going to have to stay out here at night, why hike all day and push myself and possibly injure myself when it's really not necessary. I'm crossing over the small stream, and this is the bridge, and this is going to be 100 miles on the trail. So that's an accomplishment. I'm happy about that. I'm going to try not to fall off this bridge, although everything's not wet now. So here it is, mile 100. And there I am, right by the bridge. I was going to try and get some footage of me walking, but there's no place to really put the camera down. It's kind of wet and muddy here. So other than that, we're going to keep going. I got another mile till hopefully I come to a campsite. Supposed to be water there as well. If not, I'm okay because I have 2.5 liters and I'll be good for the night. And that'll be 2 o'clock. We'll stop and we'll take it easy. I think the next campsite is a little far. It would take me another 2 hours or an hour and a half. I think it's like 3 miles away. So I just crossed over Fire Service Road 515. So I'm closing in on that campground and we'll decide what we're going to do. Reference the rest of the day. So it's 2 o'clock now. So on the fence about either pushing on, doing another hour and a half, and maybe making to a further campground, or stopping at the next one. I'm going to have to look at the map and decide what I'm going to do. Well, I'm walking along. I just came to this beautiful area here with this nice, the stream going here, a lot of flat areas. I imagine this would be a very good place to camp. Watch out for those roots. I decided I'm going to continue going on and keep hiking. Still got daylight. It's a couple of minutes after 2. Maybe, well, it's actually 2:15. So this is obviously a area that was described in the thing where the 2 streams come together, and there's a campsite here as well. I've decided to push on to the 3 Magnolias campsite. It's at mile marker, I think 104. It's about 3.2 miles ahead of where I'm currently at. So I figure another hour and a half to maybe 2 hours at the most. Hopefully less. I'll be there. So that'll take me there. I'll still get into camp around 4. That gives me more than enough time to set up camp, do everything I need to do, and get ready for tomorrow's push into Heaven. Well, I'm doing it again. I keep amending my plans and I push myself further than I say I'm going to, but I obviously don't listen to myself. My body feels good. Miles have been going good today. I've decided to push on to the 3 Magnolias campsite. It's basically 3.1 or 3.2 ahead of where I'm at now. So I figure that's another hour and a half. So that'll still give me camp by 4 o'clock. So I decided I'm going to push on, get some a little extra miles here. That'll give me another hour and a half that I'll arrive earlier in Heflin to do my business. Still hopefully catch some businesses open, and then I can rest up. And we'll see about whether we're going to take a day off or not there. So I'm thinking it would probably be a smart move, but then part of me is also thinking I'd like to hike and get over with. But it might be a good move to obviously take a day off and let my body rest a little bit. So check in again shortly. Coming up on mile 102 is a highway over here that I gotta get across. I've been hearing the cars driving by. It's pretty well traveled, but not that well traveled, but the cars are moving. So I'll have to be a little bit cautious. And I can see where the highway, and across right there, that's where the trail is. So try and get across as safe as possible. Okay, I'm going to put this away now to get across, and then I'll check in. Well, I managed to get successfully across the highway, and I'm going to go back in the woods here, and there's the sign. None of those are on tap for today. We'll worry about those tomorrow. So get back in the woods, away from the sound and bustle of the cars. Okay, it's 3:37. I'm coming down the hill, and I'm assuming this is the 3 Magnolias campsite right here. So this is going to be it for the night. I think there's water there. I'm hoping there is, but it doesn't really matter. I have 2.5 liters. I haven't had any water since I filled up. So, and there's a little bridge here, so yes, there's water. So I got everything I need. I'm just going to look around, see if I can find a spot that's not... It looks like it might be a little muddy here. But I'm sure I can find the place. A little further away from the trail. And you got a fire ring. Obviously somebody took the time to make these benches. And this is going to be home for the day. So we're going to stop. It was basically almost a 20-mile day. I'll do a recap shortly. So I don't know what I could have done with the tent stakes. The last time I used them was the last time I tented, which was 2 days ago. Obviously yesterday that I stayed in the hotel. So it's a possibility I either left them at that tent site. Maybe I forgot to put them in the bag, because I did not take my tent out. I opened it up just to let it vent, but I never took it out and repackaged it. I guess I would have realized it then, and maybe I could have got some at Cheaha State Park. So I either left them at that tent site or I dropped them in the hotel room. Those are the only 2 options. But as you can tell, we still managed to prevail, and we have the tent set up. I probably won't put the 2 extra things out, because unless I'll get another stick maybe, and I'll put those out as well. There's no breeze down here. It's really hot and humid. So it's going to be another hot, miserable night probably, but we'll definitely make Heflin tomorrow. So I'm going to go get some other stuff set up, and then I'll check in again. Well, it's about 10 minutes after 4. I've been here for probably 15 to 20 minutes now, and I've managed to set up my tent, got all my bag emptied, my sleeping pad is inflated, my sleeping bag is out, my liner is out, mixed up some electrolyte solution. I'm getting my food out, already ready to go, so I'm going to cook very shortly. I have my food bag cable already situated in a tree and waiting for me to put my food and my garbage in there, and I dug a cat hole in case I need to use it. Either later tonight or this morning. I'm now going to go get some extra water. Not that I need it, but I'd rather have it now so I can top off everything, because I'm going to try and hydrate a lot right now. I'm going to hydrate as much as I can since I have water and I'm here by myself. I can use as much water as I need and get really hydrated today, because I think I really didn't drink enough today. I did almost 20 miles. Just shy of 20 miles. It's like 19 and like 3/4 of a mile. So I'm just going to show once again how you get water. Well, I'm here at the 3 Magnolias campsite. I've got the whole place to myself. I'm setting up my tent, and major setback, sort of. Luckily, nothing we can't overcome right now. But when I took out my tent and I took out the bag, I can't find any of my stakes. So I'm missing all my tent stakes. So I had to kind of ad-lib some. So in this case, I just tied it around a tree, because I didn't. But the other ones, what I did was I took tree, twigs or limb sticks or whatever, and I basically made tent stakes that I can push in, and that'll get me through tonight. Tomorrow I'll go to Heflin. Hopefully I'll be able to find some tent stakes or something that will serve as tent stakes for the remainder of the trip. I have no idea where they could be unless I drop them in the hotel room. or I left them at the tent site. I don't know. I haven't used them in 2 days, so looks like I'll be replacing them. So that's okay. We're gonna start making our dinner. So first thing I gotta do is get my stove together. So I unfold it, put the arms out so it'll hold the pot and the valve stem. Screw it on. Fine. Well, there's not a flat spot, but I'm going to move it. I need 1.5 cups of water for this particular recipe. So I'm going to go do that now. So that would be 12 ounces, right?
And by me just lowering the hose just helps the gravity do the work.
It's a little easier than if I hold it up here in one flow. I'm a little leery of this meal.
It's a paleo meal. I kind of bought it.
It's kind of like a backup meal. I didn't really plan on using it, but it's got kale and broccoli, so it's just a little different than what I'm used to eating. But it's a paleo mountain stew, so we'll see how that works out. I guess I can cook here.
This looks like a flat enough spot.
Or sometimes cooking on the ground is actually a better idea, but I'm just going to put this here. This should hold it. It's pretty level here. And I'll start the fire, and then I can pack up some of the other stuff while I'm waiting. There we go. And now, just gotta wait a minute or two until the water boils, and then stick it in the pack, much like the other things. Leave it in there, let it stand for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. It says 15 if you're at high altitude. I'll probably wait longer. This way I know that the stuff is rehydrated. The longer it waits, the more it gets. But it's basically grass-fed beef with organic carrots, kale, broccoli, and mushrooms. So we'll see what happens. But so it's a paleo meal. So obviously there's no rice, no noodles, no stuff like that. It does have a heavily seasoned smell to it, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm not a big fan of well, kale. I can't say I'm a big fan or not. I haven't really ate it that much, but generally, no, I'm not a big kale fan. And there's celery obviously in here. I'm not a big celery fan either, but when it's mixed in with this, I just have a feeling it's probably pretty well flavored, so I think it's going to be good that way. It's Zora, wild Zora, which makes paleo, and I guess Zora is the founder of the company. So there you go. We'll try it and see what it tastes like. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to keep it sealed because the other days I had my pouch open, and like I said, the last night there were a lot of bees and stuff, and they kept on coming around the food. Obviously they smell it, or I guess they sense it, so I'm going to keep that pretty much closed, so I don't have to wear it. And for dessert, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a big Jack Link beef stick. Plenty of fat in here and protein, and that's what I need. There's 13 grams of protein in here, and I don't know how much fat. Let me see, but it's 240 calories, 18 grams of fat. So being that I was exercising today and perspiring and working, I want the calories, I want the fat, I want that protein for my muscles. So that's partly why I'm having one of these. So it's just like a double thing instead of it's just long. So I fold it over and put it in my food bag. I'm really wondering what happened to my steaks. I'm sorry to hear that I lost them. I'll have to replace them now. So I'll have to contact, I like the Z-Packed ones, but maybe I'll look to buy some different ones now that I lost them. I do have some more at home, so I probably can replace them. I definitely have the MSR ones at home. I know I have a couple of sets of those, so I won't have to replace those. The bag, obviously I can use any little pouch, but I'll probably end up getting more of the Z-Packs ones because they are a little light. I might get different ones. They do have some different ones now. And that's it. So, well, I guess my message finally went out. Okay, check back in later.